Welcome. This is Recidiva. I'm sharing a recording of a casual Skyrim playthrough using a mod list I built. My profound thanks to all the mod creators who have made this game a crowdsourced treasure. I hope you enjoy. Let's see if I got any notes. Response to Barrow's speech. On the 14th of last seed, an illusionist by the name of Baravar Barrow gave a very ignorant speech at the Chantry of Julianos at the Imperial City. As ignorant speeches are hardly uncommon, there was no reason to respond to it. Unfortunately, he has since had the speech privately printed as Barrow's speech to the Battle Mages, and it's received some small, undeserved attention in academic circles. Let us put his misconceptions to rest. Barrow began his lecture with an occasionally factual account of famous battle mages from Zurin Arcturus, Tiber Septim's Imperial Battle Mage, to Jagar Tharn, Uriel Septim's the 7th Imperial Battle Mage. His intent was to show that where it matters, Battle Mage relies on other schools of magic, not the School of Destruction, which is supposedly a Battle Mage's particular forte. Allow me first to dispute these so-called historical facts. Zurin Arcturus did not create the golem Numinium by spells of mysticism and conjuration as Barrow alleges. The truth is that we don't know how Numinium was created, or if it was a golem or atronach in any traditional sense of those words. Uriel V's battle mage Hethoth was not an imperial battle mage. He was simply a sorcerer in the employ of the Empire. Thus, which spells he cast at the various battles of Akavir are irrelevant, not to mention hearsay. Barrow calls Empress Morihatha's battle mage Wellock an accomplished diplomat, but not a powerful student of the School of Destruction. I congratulate Barrow on correctly identifying... Wow. I congratulate Barrow on correctly identifying an Imperial battle mage, but there are many written examples of Wellock's skill in the School of Destruction. The sage Selaris, for example, wrote extensively about Wellock casting the Vampire Cloud on the rebellious army of Black Rose, causing their strength and skill to pass on to their opponents. What is this but an impressive example of the School of Destruction? Barrow rather pathetically included Jagar Tharn in his list of underachieving battle mages. To use an insane traitor as example of rational behavior is an untenable position. What would Barrow prefer? That Tharn used the School of Destruction to destroy Tamriel by a more traditional means? Barrow uses his misrepresentation of history as the basis for his argument. Even if he had found 4 excellent examples from history of battle mages casting spells outside their school, and he didn't, he would only have anecdotal evidence, which isn't enough to support an argument. I could easily find 4 examples of illusionists causing healing spells or Nightblades teleporting. There is a time and a place for everything. Barrow's argument, built on this shaky ground, is that the School of Destruction is not a true school. He calls it narrow and shallow as an avenue of study, and its students impatient with megalomaniacal tendencies. How can one respond to this? Someone who knows nothing about casting a spell of destruction criticizing the school for being too simple? Summarizing the School of Destruction as learning how to do the maximum amount of damage in the minimum amount of time is clearly absurd, and he expounds on his ignorance by listing all the complicated factors studied in his own School of Illusion. Allow me in response to list the factors studied in the School of Destruction. The means of delivering the spell matter more in the School of Destruction than any other school, whether it's cast at a touch or at range, in concentric circles, or cast once to be triggered later. What forces must be reined in to cast the spell? Fire, lightning, or frost? And what are the advantages and dangers of each? What are the responses from different targets from the assault of different spells of destruction? What are the possible defenses, and how may they be assailed? What environmental factors must be taken into consideration? What are the advantages of a spell of delayed damage? Barrow suggests that the School of Destruction cannot be subtle Yet he forgets about all the curses that fall under the mantle of the school, sometimes affecting generation after generation in subtle yet sublime ways. The School of Alteration is a distinct and separate entity from the School of Destruction, and Barrow's argument that they should be merged into one is patently ludicrous. He insists again, a man who knows nothing about the schools of alteration and destruction is the one insisting this, that damage is part of the changing of reality dealt with by the spells of alteration. The implication is that levitation, to list a spell of alteration, is a close cousin to shockbolt, a spell of destruction. It would make as much sense to say that the School of Alteration, being all about the actuality of change, should absorb the School of Illusion, being all about the appearance of change. It certainly isn't a coincidence that the master of the School of Illusion cast this attack on the School of Destruction. Illusion is, after all about masking the truth. Ooh, shade. Oh, the shade of it all. Rising Threat. By Lathanil of Sunhold. Following is an account of Lathanil of Sunhold, an Altmer refugee from Somerset Isle who came to Cyrodiil in the early years of the Fourth Era. According to Lathanil, he did not flee the aftermath of the Oblivion crisis in Somerset. Rather, he fled the darkening shadow of the Thalmor upon my beloved homeland. Lathanil had a very intense presence, to put it politely, and some of his accusations of Thalmor involvement border on madness. This may be why his fervent warnings and outspoken criticisms of the Thalmor and the Aldmeri Dominion went unheeded, but history has at least partially vindicated Lathanil's claims. Praxis, Eratium. Eratuum. Praxis Eratuum, Imperial Historian. I was barely more than a child when the great anguish fell upon us. The very air was torn asunder, leaving gaping, infected wounds that spewed Daedra from the bowels of oblivion. Many flocked to the shores, seeking escape from Dagon's murderous host, but the seas betrayed our people, raising up to smash our ships and our ports, leaving us to fates so vile and wicked that death would seem a mercy. The Crystal Tower stood as our last bastion of hope, in both a literal and figurative sense. Refugees filled the Crystal Tower until it could hold no more. I could taste the fear hanging in the air, feel the pall of despair suffocating us. We could see the Daedra moving through the trees in the distance, but they did not come. Days passed, and still the Daedra would not approach within arrow shot of the battlements. Hope began to grow. They fear us, some would say. Even a Daedra knows not to trifle with the wisdom and magics of crystal-like law. It was as if the foul denizens of oblivion had been waiting for this very spirit to stoke our hearts before they acted. As we slept, innumerable legions of Daedra amassed around us, and they were not alone. Hundreds of Altmer prisoners were gathered with them. As dawn broke, we were awoken by their screams, as the Daedra began to flail them and flay them. We watched in abject horror as our kinfolk were defiled completely, carved up and eaten alive, impaled on their depraved war machines, and worried apart as meals for their profane beasts. This bloodletting was only a prelude to whet their appetites. Once the Daedra finished with our kinfolk, they turned their eyes to the Crystal Tower. A great and noble bastion proved as much of an impediment as a mighty oak to a landslide, standing tall but for a few moments, appearing almost able to ride the tide of destruction around it, but ultimately being swept away. Our exalted wizards decimated the fiends, roasting them by the dozens. Archers were finding the narrowest of chinks in their Daedric armor at over 100 paces, felling their captains and commanders. The might and skill of our heroic defenders was astonishing to behold, but it was not enough. The Daedra clambered over the corpses of their cohort. They marched headlong into death and destruction that would make the mightiest armies in all of Tamriel quake with fear. When they breached the walls, I fled along with the other cowards. I take no pride in that act. It has haunted my existence ever since, and I burn with shame to admit it, but it is true. We fled in mindless panic, abandoning those stalwart Altmer who held the line against the onslaught to preserve and defend our illustrious Crystal Tower. We raced through cleverly concealed passageways and emerged well beyond the chaos that had descended upon the tower. That is when it happened. It started like a gust, rustling through the leaves of the dense forest, but the sound did not taper off. It rose into a roar as the very ground on which I stood began to shudder. I turned to look, and the world held its breath. I stood transfixed as the heart of my homeland was torn as if from my own breast. The unthinkable, the incomprehensible. The tower of crystal-like law cast to the ground, with all the dignity of a beggar meeting an ironclad fist. An eternity I watched, trying to reconcile what I saw, what I knew with what I saw. Sobs racked my chest, and weeping filled the air around me as the spell loosened its hold, and I realized where I was. There were scores of other refugees mesmerized by the horror that had likewise ensorcelled me. Go, I croaked out as my heart, the heart of my land, shattered. No one moved, not even me. I mustered what I could and bellowed all the fear and hatred and agony at what had just happened, turning the word into a mindless shriek. Go! I ran then, feeling more than seeing that the others had followed.
Maybe you'll give me a massage later on.
Okay, on to Legends Lost. Find evidence of the caravans in Whiterun.
My favorite drinking buddy. Let's get some meat.
Alright. Hey, man.
What? Why are you looking at me?
I'm your favorite trinket. Never mind. Still
Not
thirsty?
anymore, thanks to you, friend.
Glad to help. Okay.
Sure, whatever.
Okay.
This was as stupid as a feud with Dan Gray made.
I work with my mother, sell fruits and vegetables. It's fun mostly.
Making a note right now. Excuse me, but there are a couple things that I want to fix in my new run through that I'm not, that I don't remember. But one thing that I'm trying to correct. There is one outfit in my lineup that's just essentially invisible. Certain, it's got to be a robe because it's on the casters.
It's all wild and so
Read
fucking
Caravan
alive.
Captain's
Gods,
note.
I need to kiss you. Right the fuck now.
Thank you. We met with Sadras and picked up the cargo. At least their captain seemed in better spirits, but the others looked exhausted. To make matters worse, the air was flush with news about the caravans who didn't make it, sieged by dwarven automatons on the road to Whiterun. My worry is such fears will find their way into the minds of my men, especially when the details of their story seem to corroborate. It only seems to throw more kindling on the flame. Hopefully the other captains have a plan. We have a few deserters already, and we'll need every available body if these attacks continue. It'll be difficult to convince the men to leave the safety of the tavern for the terrors of the unknown. Even without this dwarven nonsense, the road ahead will only get more perilous given the copious bandits, wolves, and other dangers on the road. Captain Inotis has asked us to take a detour with the caravan to Falkreath. Staying off the main road might provide us some cover. Read skeever trouble. Since no one else seems to be doing anything about it, I've taken steps to rid ourselves of this skeever problem. Please do not eat this cheese as it is laced with a dangerous poison. I repeat, this cheese is for skeevers only. If you feel the need to take a bite, I implore you to look in the mirror first and confirm that you are a skeever. If so, then you may eat to your heart's content. If you are not a skeever, then you can better serve RK by staying alive. Okay, so apparently I've got skeever cheese in my inventory now. Poisoned sliced goat cheese. Okay. Hey, buddy. Hey, Anders, you almost looked brave there for a second. Good for you.
You and me, we're the only people around who aren't complete fools.
Please don't say that in front of Kaidan. It's kind of rude. Oh, maybe you were talking to him, huh? Okay. I'm offended by the vanilla load screens. Come on, man. Oi. Why am I getting subtitles? Okay. Looks like Calcelmo made it all the way back to Understone Keep. I bet he had to run the whole way twice.
Lots of nasty holes in the...
Good to see Skyrim still has such fine people. You give an old man hope.
You seem to have written this note about Strib in the book I found.
Let's see. Ah, well now, there's a name I haven't heard in some time. I'll have to make a point of rereading it. I don't recall the details. Why don't you head to my Dwemer Museum, see if you can find that book.
Wait,
You
maybe
know that
this...
slab of cheese you
I don't know if this is... Okay, let me look this up.
Word is the College of Mages
See,
is back
this
to normal.
it's saying paragons,
There's such a
and
thing
really,
for nothing.
I've never gotten to the point of a game where the paragons are a thing. Plus, that was not emulated voice acting.
Imperials think us all lawless beasts. I'm proof of their ignorance.
Okay, so I'm looking for Much Ado About Snow Elves. It is Legacy the Dragonborn. That is interesting. Okay, well maybe they used lines that already existed, but or emulation, I don't know, but normally they have a few specific voice actors. Legacy of Dwemer Paragons. By Himine Woodman. Find the following relevant entry earmarked under the back of the book. Near the back of the book, Srib earned the title of Paragon by being the primary inventor of the science behind the creation of automatons. He was the researcher who first discovered the way to breathe life into the constructs that changed Dwemer society forever. This breakthrough led to the bulk of the Dwemer peoples leading lives of relative leisure. They were able to focus on other pursuits, such as the continued advancement of Dwemer engineering. My research indicates that Srib's university is most likely located in northeastern Skyrim, possibly underneath a very mountain where a monument to her godhood can be found.
About bloody time. I... Sorry.
Alright, okay. Alright, we're gonna... I know I said at the beginning, it takes much longer to finish Legacy of the Dragonborn content than it does the main quest. Absolutely. Okay, wear the Alien Waystone to get to Sankotor. Yeah, so the things I'm working on in my new game, and I don't know if it's possible yet. It seems to be insanely complicated. Some mysterious force is preventing removal of the Waystone engine.
Bring it on! Whatever you take you! Ah! Orioles on sword!
I want a light source that casts a pool of light on the ground. Right now, I have a light source that is missing that in my new on list. It casts general light, but I know it's possible to get a pool of light on the ground. Now, I'm not sure if it's my DMP settings, if it's the face light on my character. My companions. So let's see, I have an item called the Necklace of Infinite Mage Light. Of course, where is it? Okay. Oh, I'm doing exactly the wrong thing here. Yeah, see, it casts a pool of light on the ground that travels with me. In my new game, it's not doing that, and I have to figure out why. Okay. Or maybe it
If
doesn't.
death is
here.
what you seek, I am happy to oblige. Motherfuckers! Ugh. Die!
So I'm trying a whole bunch of different mods, but it could be a mod conflict, it could be my EMB, it could be just getting the vote order wrong, but I am trying to be determined and hopefully confident or competent in understanding what is causing lack of light. So the only thing that I'm really getting is some ambient light from above, but I'm not getting the pool of light that I need. So I have to figure that out. I have to figure out whatever the one outfit is that is rendering as naked. There's nothing wrong with naked. It's just when it's unintentional, I would like to fix it. Okay. Which shadows? Okay. And I need to check out JK's Winterhold, because I took all of Immersive College of Winterhold out.
You'll die this day.
Where's my key?
Is that all you can do?
Oh, damn.
You're fucking dead! Fuck's sake!
So I think there are limits to how many, like,
Give it up!
light sources you can have in a scene, from my understanding. And again, this is like a blind person trying to figure it out the hard way. But yeah, if you look at those,
Time to end this.
the emissive eyes, the glowing eyes of the skeletons are going to count. Are going to count as. Okay, I don't know what the key is. Like, that's a light source, and my face light is a light source, and you know, with all of the mods that I have, it gets prioritized, and then at a certain point, so I had a lantern earlier in this lineup, but it took the same slot as my pants, which is, you know, not ideal. Okay, I'm supposed to be able to find a key, and
Well, let's do some out again! I'm ending this right now! Holy bloody jump!
I wonder if there's like a little mat or a potted plant at the front door. Let me try to find a key.
Let me start right then. I know a trick or two that would improve your grip. Yeah, that grip doesn't feel like it improved much. Fan-fucking-tastic. There it is again, that fucking smile. I'll never get enough of it. The fight. Rise victorious.
Yeah, I think even these arcane bows are light sources. It's these little arrows. So I don't know how many effects you can get, but I'm playing around with that, and it does seem insanely complicated because I want several things to happen. I want it to be an equipable item that I can toggle on and off that is permanent. Now I normally would have that with that necklace, and I have to figure out why it isn't. There are any number of very cool spells that'll give you stuff for 60 seconds, but that's not what I want. There is one cool mod I was trying yesterday that isn't going to work out for me. Because it makes equipable items. So if you have something favorited, it will show on your body. So I think it's called, I don't remember the exact name, but like immersive equipment slots, something like that. And so if you have an item favorited or equipped, it will show. So I installed the mod, booted up my character, and she's wearing her she is dual wielding an axe, like a woodsman's axe. Yeah, I'm just lost. I don't know where I've been or I haven't been. So since I have those favorited because I have essential favorites, which means those items won't be sold or broken down, and now it means I'm wearing them. So since I prefer essential favorites to that cosmetic thing, I can't use that. But that mod theoretically I am completely lost. And then also that mod uses its own separate UI, and the way that you bring it up is by hitting the backspace key, which makes it impossible to rename items at the Arcane Enchanter. So it's conflicts like that make it hard to integrate mods together. So I'm gonna have to do some research and study about light sources and load order and. Alright, I'm gonna have to look up a guide here. I've done my good faith run around and get lost. I think I've gone as far as I can in every direction in order to qualify for exploring. I don't think I found the key. Let me see if I have auto-looted it. And anyway, it says to open the wooden door, but I cannot open the wooden door. Let me see if I happen to have picked it up along the way, but I'm not seeing a chest or a purple item that for me would be. It's for a quest.
I've come to enjoy your company on the road. The view is always finer.
Ah, I found it. Okay, good. Yeah, so that's another thing with that immersion mod that would put like a torch over your head, or so essentially you have like a torch in your inventory and or a spell or an item like a lamp, and then it would automatically show under certain circumstances. But I haven't figured out all the settings. And the circumstances involve going off when you are stealthed, which is not really helpful for someone like me who spends their entire life stealth and wants to see. Okay, this is kind of using yeah, this is new textures, a new place. Nice job, guys. I really, again, want to thank everybody who does this mod, even though I complain about it. Please do not take
I
those
swear at this
complaints.
point, the only
Those are
one
about
wants to sneak
2% of
about
my experience with this
because
mod.
you know I can't think
So
straight.
I can see
seeing
they're
you
using
move like that.
Snow Elf architecture, textures that they've redone. It's really, really amazing. So much work. And here I am just saying I can't even put other people's mods properly in order to get the result I want. Learn all skills 10% faster, increase heavy armor skill by 10 points for 300 seconds. Huh. Freaky. So I appreciate that if I'm going to sneak around a creepy old tomb, it's a new creepy old tomb. It actually looks a bit more like Elder Scrolls Online. Some of their tomb models more like this, that there would just be bookcases down this hallway.
No movement. The battle calls me again.
Wow,
The
God.
shape of the knees hit me.
Pretty. Okay, it has human flesh in it, which I have blacklisted because Kaidan doesn't like it when it stinks. Oh look, there are bookcases!
Because if I have to stand up quick right now, it's going to get really
Yeah, I'm trying to recognize this style, and it reminds me more. I know they took a lot of stuff from Elder Scrolls Online also, but this looks a lot more like an Elder Scrolls Online dungeon. They've used whatever resources they have to build something new, and I appreciate that.
How did they find us? Ow!
So yeah, this quest does appear to be either. I mean, I've never done it, so I don't know how much. this has changed from version 5 to 6, but
Little field are off! The five blades!
they use the original voice of Calcelmo.
Bastard!
Could have done worse, I suppose. You're a phantom, to be fair.
I'm also going to activate the Sergesto cloak. See if I can get a from Tools of the Trade. See if I get a location for it. I thought it was supposed to be somewhere around here. Yeah, very cool. Very cool area design.
Fair warning. I'm absolutely shaken, so apologies in advance.
Okay, so I'm definitely getting the Sergesto cloak. Good. I might actually finish the quest, guys.
How the fuck am I supposed to draw my sword forward over like this? One of these days I'm gonna cut something off myself, I swear.
Oh, I see. Alright, let's see if I have a key to the other place yet. So unfortunately, because Legacy of the Dragonborn doesn't really flag many of their items as quest items, it can be difficult for me to know when or where I have looted something. That is my fault with an auto looter, but I'm not giving up the auto looter for the rest of the game. I mean, it's just a consistency issue. Alright, Alright. That's locked. I just came from the Hall of Judgment, and the prisons are locked. Fake. Okay, I came in from the courtyard, but alright. Yeah, this is where I came in from. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna try doing the whole zone from. I've done the Hall of Judgment. Try running around and try to open every door, going on the left.
Whatever it is, we can handle it.
Okay, that looks like it's gonna open. Yeah, it does. I don't want to fall down there.
Bastards won't fucking die! Excellent.
Yeah, I might have gotten the key there. We'll have to see. Go around the whole place, hugging the left wall.
Wow. I thought I was impressive
Don't
with the
have
fool.
the key for the shrine yet,
I didn't expect to find.
but it is marked. Yes. Okay, there's the shrine. Okay,
equal in archery.
I'm gonna follow
Will you
around, but it
shoot
looks
like
like I'm gonna
death
be able to
itself?
get into the prisons. We'll see. Yeah, that's a big old no there. Oh!
I learned a trick to avoid narrow further. Next time we come, I'll warn you.
Yes.
Know the drill, Dragonborn. You distract them while I take them the fuck out.
Yeah, I distract them. Ugh. Something weird in this grouping. I feel like there's a sound out of artifact if you listen carefully. It sounds like someone's whispering. Oh, this guy's dead. I think
Let
it's
it be a
intended to,
lesson
but
for others.
my ears recognize it as voice. Ah, now it's not doing it. It loops and it kind of goes blip, blip, blip.
The fuck was that noise?
Look, a bucket. Sir Chesto's. Wow, I actually did it. Wow, that is a first. Sir Chesto's patchwork cloak provides 15-point resistance to fire, shock, frost, disease, and poison, as well as 15-point bonus to speaking. I did it. I'm proud of me.
Why are we sneaking? I'm sorry.
Sorry, Sir Chesto. Yeah, everybody has reached the sticky end.
I'm not. On a man, so what can I do? I like how your mind works. Not bloody time. Wait.
You're gonna one-shot. Let's see. What is my difficulty setting? Master. Yeah, if you're gonna one-shot a level 61 with one arrow, pretty good.
You bloody show off.
I can't get through. I can't get through. Okay. It's very narrow.
Right, guy. You've got this wrong as you've been sneaky. You are not sneaky peeky. Shit. Too late.
Okay, let's see if I can enter the catacombs. I know I've done the Hall of Judgment. Oh, I'd have to drop down, or is there a door over to the left? I think I'd have to drop down. I'd like to avoid dropping down to the floor. In theory, you should be able to avoid that in a roleplay sense as a trap and not assume that things will be complete if you go that way. But if I can't get through this door, I got through the door. Okay, yeah, I'm going to avoid the catacombs because I'm assuming it's just a trap with a long run back. Okay. Yay! Okay. Runestone is glowing, but I don't see an activation point. Okay. They are in prayer. I'm assuming the second I make myself visible, they are going to attack me, but I am going to remain respectful and not strike first. I have to kill them I will, but they are simply doing their jobs. Alright, I'm not going to try to kill them. I'm assuming once I try to take this, they are going to try to kill me. Oh look, there's an Elder Scroll right there that is... Just to get the dark influence. Blessing. Alright, yeah. That was the whispering. Okay. Instigate the dark influence. I've obtained the helm of Tiber Septim, but feel as though the dark power binding me here still has hold over me. I should continue to investigate the source. Okay. And knowing Legacy, the Dragonborn stuff, it's probably something that my arrows cannot touch.
I'll make sure you regret it.
Ah, the lieutenant. Thankfully, I can catch it. Read Internment of the Underking. Wait, okay. Alright, got it. Yeah, when it's like that, I had it like that, it looked like I had two indicators, but within this place shall forever be sealed away the evils of the Underking, so that the spirit of the great Tiber Septim may forever contain his presence within. Bound to his sealed tomb by 3 key blades of the Dragon Guard, his tomb shall never again be opened without them. Safeguarded within this fortress, these blades will have places of reverence within, only to be removed during the time of the turning of the wheel, when the dead walk again, and the Underking's restless evil may once again stir. Find the key blades. Okay, I found one of them. So, go find the others.
And so it begins. Ah! Easy guy. This can't be good. Come on! Rah! What have we done on? Shit happens. It's on!
I really like those purple eyes. Again, that's JS's emissive eyes. It's a mod. It's so cool to be able to assign the glowy eye color. The mobs is awesome.
You really don't want to fuck with me!
I think some of these assets here are from like the Markarth Crypt of Archay. So they've recolored and redone a lot of the assets, but yeah, I keep thinking I really like what they've done with this place, even though it's like, murderous and horrible and ruined, but this is what I mean about needing new, even just new recolors of the old assets, and then using them creatively. So like almost all of for is just the scene. They really did not do much. Yeah, this is ash and some dirt. It's just recolored dirt. This is cool. The very sharp blade of the Guardian.
Hear the old voice of the Dragon of the North!
What the fuck? She keeps moving like that.
Ah, for the love of Mara! Shut up! You've underestimated me!
Now, I don't really remember who the Under King is. Really cool use of color and texture, and yeah, they took Dwemer and Snow Elf and all these different textures and created something new. Good job, guys. So I'm probably gonna have to go to the catacombs, huh? Okay, let's see if I find it in the shrine. Yeah, finding out that Tiber Septim is Talos just reminds me of the fact that I always thought Ulysses and Odysseus were two separate people and didn't realize it was just the Greek and Roman names.
There's a woman who's spiteful and mean, the most paranoid I've ever seen. She may have a past, but she's a pain in the ass. She's a horn stealer known as Delphine.
Hey guys. I will salute you. I'm not starting anything. I'm just trying to finish something. don't know why I have 2 markers. Maybe I'm missing something. We'll find out.
Yes, food is nutritious, but there's nothing delicious as the Dragonborn's legs round the waist.
Alright, I'm gonna head back to the other key, to the other arrow, see what I'm missing. Oh, it's an actual key. Okay, so I need the key and the blades. Right? Blades. Got it? Yeah. Yeah, the runes are cool looking, but I don't know what they're for. Okay, this is feeling epic. Just feeling the need for a little bolstering. An apple pie and one. Very grateful Kaidan's here with her because many places she's gone into she can handle on her own, she's used to, but this is creepy and different and new, she doesn't know it. And that's unusual. She's intensely grateful to have his help and support, and especially just his swearing. Bringing lightness to the mood. Robbing the grave of Talos and facing the Underking do not sound like easy undertakings. though she really just should not be doing this. It's gonna be fine. Don't worry, sweetheart. You're good. Alright. I will have to do a little research on who the Underking is. That's the leader of the Glimmer. I don't know why I would bury your good guy in the Zuran Arctis, the Underking. Ring of Zuran Arctis. Okay. I'm gonna look that up. I don't recall reading anything about the Underking. Okay. Oh, appears in Daggerfall. The Underking, or the Evil One, was a mysterious figure of myth and legend known throughout Tamriel in the Third Era, and by some accounts even earlier. His legions of living and undead followers were called the Agents, and he was known to be opposed to many Marco, the King of Worms, and his cult of necromancers. The Underking was one of 7 factions in the Iliac Bay region that played a major role in events preceding and during the Warp of the West in 3E 417. Okay. So again, the depth of lore knowledge in everybody who does Legacy of the Dragonborn, who pulls bits and pieces from all over, it's really amazing, and I am so grateful. Okay, the Keyblades can't be touched now. Shattered Legacy. Try to remove the Waystone outside Sankotor. So just as she did not attempt to kill the Blade Spirits, she's not going to grave rob further than is absolutely necessary. She's exhausted, covered in Underking ichor, and just wants to go home. She has no idea how to get out, and now there's no quest markers. It's frustrating. Let's see. She can remember. Okay, shrine, catacombs, hall, prisons. Okay, turn left up here. Investigate the portal. Activate portal. That was cool.
The wayward daughter returns home.
Oh, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying oh my. Who are you?
I am the voice. I am the eye. I am the breath which makes Akatosh's will known. And you are his child,
You
Dovahkiin.
need to get some work done on your teeth,
You
buddy.
are the gatherer of the
That's
symbols
flippin'
of those who
bad.
came before you. Brought here to beseech his lordship to do thine bidding.
I'm going to ask with humility. I know Akatosh abandoned me, but was reborn as Ariel, and I hope that I showed respect for the tomb that I was plundering. I ask humbly for Lord Akatosh's aid in reforming the Khan el Adabal.
Humility you may have, yet the full offering you do not. The blood of the mother you have in full, yet the breath of the father you have yet to fully obtain. Go forth and make whole the symbols of the offering, so that the heart too may once again be made whole.
Power binding the alien waystone fades, and the amulet slips off and into your hands. You feel a force pulling you back to Skyrim. Do I? Do I really? Hi. Okay. I'm stuck here. Yeah, I'm stuck here. Okay, we're gonna awkwardly stare at each other for a little while. Yeah, we're stuck. Alrighty. Return to Orion. Alright, I'm just gonna try to do that. Seems like a great time for a teleport. Go to the safe house and hope that's not going to destroy scripting. So again, if you do pick up one or two teleport spells from different mods, the ones that I have are Safe House, Redoran Grove, and Rolling Manor. And they have all, as you've seen, saved my butt at different times. Let's go speak to Orion. It's stinky and awful, but I want to get it to him as soon as possible. And then when he has told me his thing, then I can rest. Not that the character is particularly overwhelmed by the power of the Dragonstone, but me as a player, I have respect for the literal millions, if not billions, of hours that mod makers, players have put into this. And in a way, it's a bit like really revering, you know, Eric the Slayer. There are people who really wanted to play this game who were unable
a lot
to.
Of history here.
Why is there a mark here? There are a lot of people that wanted to do this. I think about Veilguard and the fact that I know
Everyone seems to be in great spirits today.
Been a pretty good day.
Who
Not
died
gonna lie.
waiting for the game to be released. And I know that there are. I am about to
It's nice to
play
be warm.
Veilguard, knowing that they said, oh, you know, the players aren't going to really remember the choices they made. We've only honored 3 of them. You guys don't mind. To which I have to go, I remember all the choices I made. I made canon choices. I made them over and over again. And I find that insulting. That
Seems like that
because you
bracket's
don't
maybe
want to
coming
do the
loose
research
again.
and do the work
I'll
and
have to
do
get a
what
new
the
mount for
game
it.
franchise is famous for,
Artifact
you're going to
collectors
blame
everywhere.
the fans.
Please don't stand too
And
close
in this
to
case,
place.
it is very wonderful to see a
Fuck
fan
me, this
validate
museum is
another
big.
fan's interest. So I'm grateful.
What can I do for you?
I'm back from Sankratore.
Ah, you're back. Were you successful?
Orion, we have a lot to discuss. The Herald of Akatosh spoke to me.
Are you serious? Then Akatosh must be aware of our pursuits, and the offerings must have drawn his attention as we intended. Splendid!
It's more complicated than that. There are other symbols he wants.
Truly? What did he say?
Recount the Herald statement.
Blood of the mother you have in full, yet breath of the father you have yet to fully obtain.
So I have to get all of the
Curious.
shouts, I would
Quite
imagine.
vexing. Well, the blood of the mother must pertain to Alessia, Raymond, and Tiber Septim, so if those are the symbols in full he spoke of, then that means there would be 3 more symbols under the breath of the father. This is quite interesting. Well, yet to fully obtain would imply that some of the items you brought along must be symbols of shore.
Or something I obtained. Show the Ring of Octus.
Oh my. This is an Imperial Royal Advisor seal with the crest of Zurin Arctus, the Underking.
I met him too. Who was the Underking?
Zurin Arctus, Imperial Battle Mage and Advisor to Tiber Septim, was referred to as the Underking, but the accounts are quite confusing.
Of course they are.
There are disrupting stances on who exactly the Underking was, because, so far as I can tell, he was comprised of 2 souls. High King Wolfhearth was also considered to be the Underking in one of his lives, of which he had several.
Please do go on.
In one of Wolfhearth's lives, he was allied with Tiber Septim and Zurin Arctus. They betrayed him, however, and his soul was trapped within the Mantella, a massive soul gem constructed by Arctus to use as a power source for the Numidium. This trapping cost Arctus his life, however, and his soul was merged with Wolfhearth within the Mantella as an unintended consequence.
See, so they are interwoven in some... Okay. See, so they are interwoven in some way.
Wolfhearth was bound to Tiber Septim as Dragonborn, and with the title of Ismir. And Arctus was bound by way of his soul, merging with Wolfhearth and sharing the title of Underking. So therefore, Zurin Arctus must be one of the 3 representing this Breath of the Father.
Why do the titles of Underking or Ismir matter?
The truth of divinity resides in the will of the worshipper. Most of what is true in our world is because we simply choose it to be. Divines are only such because they are believed to be, and that faith powers them. Much of what exists in the heavens is mantled or reflected here on Nirn.
Due to it.
So a shared title does very much mantle itself to a shared connection in some way.
And what exactly is the breath of the Father?
Well, I would surmise breath to mean the voice or the Thume. The blood of the mother would pertain to Alessia and her blood pact with Akatosh, which means that the father... Could it possibly be
What are you thinking?
Morahouse?
Now I'm completely lost.
Sorry. Let me step back. So, the Herald is implying that there are representations of 6 individuals who could make the amulet whole again. 3 of these represent Akatosh, Alessia, Raymond, and Tiber Septim. The other 3 represent what I assume is Shore. Zurin Arctus, Wolfhearth, and, if I am correct, Morahouse. Morahouse was, or still is, a demigod who was the husband of Alessia. His name means first breath of man, and is considered tied to Kine in that regard, and also is associated with the Thume, as is implicit in his name. This bonds him closely to Wolfhearth, who, again amongst many other titles, was called the Breath of Kine.
Very exciting moment for me.
So why would Shore be connected to Akatosh in all this?
Well, let's not forget, Shore is the Nordic version of Lorkhan. and one telling states that the Chim El Adabal is formed from Lorkhan's blood. And in the Covenant, Akatosh filled that vessel with his own blood, so really, the Amulet of Kings seems to be a reflection of both deities.
And both have to be represented in order for it to be made whole again.
Exactly. So it seems we need to obtain something pertaining to Wolfhearth, and something from Mora House.
Where would we even begin to look?
The armor of Mora House is one that still persists to this day, in fact, and has surfaced a number of times over the years. It is also known as the Lord's Mail.
No.
You may have noticed I have a habit of tracking down various curios and artifacts in my spare time.
I tried.
And as it turns out, the armor was entrusted by the Empire to the care of General Tullius. But news came down recently that it was stolen by a deserter, so you might inquire at Castle Dower as to what became of it or what leads they have. Who knows, if you find it, they may be willing to entrust it to us for safekeeping. But either way, we could certainly use it for our ends in the short term, before returning it and get a replica out of it if nothing else.
Well, isn't this a surprise?
Fantastic. One step closer to completing the puzzle then.
As far as Wolfhearth is concerned, during his reign, the capital of Skyrim was Windhelm. From what I remember, there are various dedications to the High Kings of old around the city, which chronicle their deeds and record their deaths.
I see.
I would explore there and see what clues you might uncover. He also resided in the very same palace of kings that stands today. Once you have the remaining relics, you should be ready to return to Sangrator by way of the Ayleid Waystone and appeal to the Herald of Akatosh. If I do not see you again before then, take care of yourself. And as always, I'm here if you need me for anything.
Okay.
Stay safe.
If you've got some time, stop by my House of Curiosities. I promise you'll see wonders.
Okay, Calixto. I need a bath.
By the gods.
Okay, so... maybe I couldn't complete the Lord's Mail before, because I didn't have... because the quest wasn't triggered. I'm not really sure. I'm gonna reactivate it. I hit it. Let me see if going through these steps will get it for me. Lord's Mail. Okay. I don't know why the book return is activated as a quest marker, but I'll worry about it later. Completely covered in blood. Thanks for watching. Wishing you found family, creative hobbies, a hot bath after a long day, and food you love as much as Saleya loves apple pies.